All right, so I saw 80 for Brady. Don't ask me why. I saw 80 for Brady, and what an experience this was. Absolutely I don't know. I love watching stupid movies like this. Definitely ironically in senses. Although I have to say there were some unironic laughs in this one as well. But as a whole, this movie was exactly what I expected it to be, exactly what you expect it to be, which is really, a comedy for boomers. That's kind of the main takeaway here. It's one of those things that when it was announced it was getting made, I think everyone had the exact same reaction of, "Are you sure? How did this happen? How did this come about?" I want to know how this movie happened. I want to know what caused this movie to happen. There were so many just insane parts of this movie. I think one of my favorites was, I'm going to spoil this whole movie. If you complain about spoilers for 80 for Brady, you're just the worst kind of person. I'm going to be spoiling this movie. So there was a scene in it where they had to break into the Super Bowl because, that's what you do in a movie. And so a friend that they meet tells them, "Oh yeah, I can get you in. I'll just say you're my dancers." And then the security guard says, "You don't look like dancers. If you're really dancers, you would be able to dance well." And they had to have a dance sequence to prove that they are in fact dancers going to the Super Bowl. That's just a small taste of what 80 for Brady has to offer. I had one of the more stranger double features I think anyone has ever had of I watched this movie and Infinity Pool in the same trip to the movie theater, which a wild double feature. Also, I have my review of Infinity Pool on my movie channel, which you can see in the link in the description below. If you like my take on football, maybe you like my take on movies, check that out definitely. Another one of my favorite moments of it was there's the story. I guess I should tell you what the idea behind it is you have Jane Fonda, Sally Field, Rita Moreno, and Lily Tomlin are all trying to go to the Super Bowl. That's their thing. They have tickets, but then something goes wrong, and now they have to find a way to get to the Super Bowl. That's the idea here. At one point, Sally Field's character goes up to the ticket booth, and she says that, we've lost our tickets. What can we do? And the person at the ticket booth says, "Oh, well, have you checked the lost and found?" And Sally Field says no. And then the woman working the ticket booth says, and I quote here, "Actually, I don't know where the lost and found is." Like that, including the and everything. It was the weird, like, could you not do another take? It was the weirdest take I've ever seen in a movie in my entire life. Why was that scene in the movie? I mean, that was the smallest, there was no conflict there. Why did they include that? Why was their excuse for why they can't find the lost and found something where they literally just don't know where it is? But then why even have them show that there's a lost and found anyways? Completely, just what a weird thing there. What's weird about this movie and why it kind of breaks my brain a little bit is, the writers are Emily Halpern and Sarah Haskins, who wrote Booksmart. So it's not like these are like bad writers. There was another writer for a Booksmart, but still, you would think that these are people who, and I do have to say, the one thing I will say is there were some legitimately funny jokes, I thought. Again, the boomers in the crowd were having a great time. I have to say, this is one you take your grandma to, because definitely there were laughs throughout during the theater. So, that's something that definitely happened. There was also a great moment where they had to give the backstory for why these four women liked football, which, I don't know, they could just like football, but okay, they decided to give us a backstory for it. Sure, let's see how that goes. And it was just simply that they were the TV was broken one day. They couldn't get it to be fixed, and they couldn't figure out how to change the channel. And then all of a sudden, it got stuck on football, and they saw Tom Brady and thought that he was attractive, even though he's wearing a football helmet. And so that's why they decided to keep watching, and then became huge Patriots fans. So again, incredible stuff, especially when you think about the fact that this was produced by Tom Brady. I don't know what hand he had in this movie, but there's definitely some things of like, that's interesting that you put that in there, Tom Brady, that you didn't say, hey, maybe we take this out. For example, in the movie, at a certain point, they break into the coaching office where they're calling the plays, and they talk to Matt Patricia. Matt Patricia is in this movie, and Matt Patricia is saying, we got to go cover 2 here, and I forget which one of the women says, but one of the women goes, no, not cover 2, you have to do cover 1. And then for some reason it gets called cover 1 because they heard an old lady on the microphone saying you have to go cover 1 instead of cover 2, which I would think would be a red flag, and you wouldn't just naturally do that, but they did. and then that was the I believe that was a sack in the game. Because I should mention the entire climax, the final 20 minutes are just like clips from NFL footage, like from NFL films of the game. Like that's the whole like climax of the movie is just that. But because of the fact that they got a sack on that play, they just let them call plays for like the next few minutes. They're just like, oh, you're good at this, why don't you do it? Which I tweeted out. The most realistic part of this movie is the idea that 4 random fans from the game would call plays better than Matt Patricia. Maybe an unfair shot at Matt Patricia, I don't know. But yeah, why is Matt Patricia getting thrown under the bus here? Of like, clearly it was not him who was the one who helped win a Super Bowl here. Definitely not that. Also, I have a tinfoil hat on sometimes watching these movies. There was a moment where you had the fake, I guess, fake radio show / television show that airs on TV, and also they do the play-by-play during the football games themselves, which was a fun little twist here. But you had 2 guys who were doing that. And, at one point, one of them specifically said at halftime, Bill Belichick better say something to fire up these guys. And then in the movie, what happens is they do not get fired up. They give up another touchdown at the end of halftime. And it's not until, again, this was Lily Tomlin's character gives Tom Brady a great pump-up speech that he actually gets excited. He says to his teammates, let's effing go. And then that's what gets them actually fired up and allows them to win. So I don't know, is Tom Brady, who is a producer of this movie, saying that Bill Belichick was not the reason that they got fired up and were able to come back in Super Bowl 51? It was actually Tom Brady who was able to do it. I don't know. Some people could say. I can't say for certain, but maybe that's what Brady thinks. Who knows? Who knows about the if that's part of it? There were a lot of great lines in this movie. I think one of my favorite things is that you had one of the characters here. They all kind of blend together for me, I'm going to be honest. But one of the characters in this movie wrote a book, a sort of erotic fan fiction about Rob Gronkowski. And so that's her thing. At one point, a fan comes up to her, like a fan of her book, and says, "Oh my God, I loved your book." And she's like, why do you like my book?" It's like, you wrote it. What do you mean? Why are you freaking out about this fan who likes your material that you wrote? It was the very funny thing. But then she goes. So, anyways, at the end of the game, they get invited to the locker room because of the great help they did in telling Matt Patricia, "No, you stupid idiot, don't play cover 2, play cover 1." They get to go to the locker room at the end of the game to talk about, hang out with the players, I guess, because that's what the players want, is for women in their 80s or near their 80s to talk some football. That's what they're hoping for. And then so the woman who wrote the Gronk erotic fan fiction goes to Gronkowski's locker only to discover that he has a copy of it. And then when she sees Gronk, she says, you've read my book? And he says, read it. I take it everywhere I go, which is just a hilarious line. Just incredible stuff by played completely straight. I don't know if it was intended as a joke. They did not film it as a joke. They played it completely straight. Just great stuff. You have Rob Gronkowski. You have Tom Brady. You have one of the weirder cameos of all time. Actually, 2 of the weirder cameos of all time. First, Guy Fieri, who's just in this movie. Like, he plays Guy Fieri, and he's in this movie as Guy Fieri. So did the script originally have Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, and Guy Fieri all in the script? How did they know they were going to get all of those? Did they just assume that was going to happen? Is Brady a friend of Guy Fieri's, and that's how he knew he could get him? How did this work out? Did they originally write it for Gordon Ramsay? What happened here? I don't know. It was very fascinating. You also had a Danny Amendola cameo, which, I don't know. Really, Amendola's the guy you go with there as you need another cameo? They had Edelman. Edelman makes sense. Perfect. Yeah, get that. You had Brady. You had Gronkowski. And then they even, like, during the game, they made sure that, like, the radio guys / TV guys, one of them mentioned, like, oh, Danny Amendola, he's so clutch. Making sure, like, oh no, this is a good player. Remember Danny Amendola? I'm like, I guess so. Sure. I don't know. Couldn't have gotten Trey Flowers, the Dante Hightower, perhaps. And again, his point was, he was just in the locker room at the end, like, oh, Danny Amendola, you're here, cool. I mean, it was very, I don't know, one of those SNL sketches when they don't really have a sketch to bring someone on, but they just like bring them on to get the audience laughter. That was a good chunk of this movie. Like, you also had Patton Oswalt make a brief appearance in this movie. Marshawn Lynch was in this movie very briefly for like, he had like 2 lines. I don't know, maybe just trying to get into acting. I thought for a second he was going to be playing Marshawn Lynch, because that would make sense, right? Him being at the Super Bowl, but no, he was just, I believe, just playing a character, or maybe he was playing Marshawn Lynch. I don't know exactly. You had Jimmy O Yang in it, so you had some like talented people in this movie. You had Billy Porter in this movie. Like, there were some like legitimate Ron Funches, like some like, I don't know, maybe not stars, but like, again, a good cast. I mean, this was definitely, you had a lot of talented people. Obviously, the main 4 were very good as well. And I do have to say, like, again, there were some silly moments in this. There were definitely some scenes that I thought worked as intended. It's not a movie for me. It's not a movie for, if you're watching this channel, I'm assuming it's not a movie for you. Feels like Tom Brady tricked a lot of men into seeing this movie, because my girlfriend pointed out to me as the movie had ended, like, we were all the way in the front, because it was a packed theater. It really was. I'm not exaggerating. The theater was packed, and she said, "Look behind you. There's a lot of men here." I'm like, I looked back. I was assuming it was going to be like all old people and then like couples. No, it was like, I don't know, 80% like men, which was surprising to me. Feels like a lot of people thought they were seeing a Tom Brady movie. Apparently, she said, I was in the bathroom, she said she overheard when she was waiting for me, there were guys like critiquing it, like, there should have been more football in it, which, first off, they showed like the whole game in the movie. I don't know what else they could have added there, but also I think you guys maybe walked into the movie theater with the incorrect expectations. I don't know, if you're like me and these kind of stupid comedies that don't work but sometimes do work tickle you, definitely worth checking out. Don't go into it expecting Citizen Kane, I think, is the fair critique. And hey, if you like my movie reviews, again, I've been doing this. Check out the link in the description. I do some movie reviews now. Have one about Infinity Pool out on that channel now. Trying to post something every day for a couple weeks, see how it goes. So definitely, do me a favor, check that out. I would appreciate it. And yeah, hey, 80 for Brady, 67% of Rotten Tomatoes. 2/3 of critics like it. So maybe you will too. What a wild ride. I can't believe that this movie is real. Don't understand it. But yeah, that's what I thought of it. Have you seen 80 for Brady? What did you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from ya. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.